Dear friends, I hope all of you are having a nice practice, also practice of meditation as well as practice of yoga and self practice too. And now, time for the next or the second group meditation, and then a small or short talk on the practice. Dear friends, let us continue our practice together once again now. Let's see how the mind is now. can we open ourselves to accept however the mind is without expecting any shape or any color. If the mind is unsettled and unclear, then we know the mind is unsettled and unclear. Let us look at the mind as we are looking at a pond, water pond. If the pond is muddy, that's okay. That's the current nature of the pond. If lot of bubbles and waves are there, that is also all right. We are not going to use the pond for anything if the pond is muddy. Continuously looking at the pond without using it for anything else. Now we can see ourselves how do we feel ourselves. Can we look at ourselves from different angles? Can we see different faces of ourselves? Now, again, let us look at the pond. See how the pond is now. With this vision, let us now open our eyes. Thanks, dear friends, for your beautiful effort in the practice. And today we are meditating or we are reflecting on very beautiful two qualities, wide and clear. And the question is, what is wide and what is clear? Of course, we can say the enlightenment is wide and clear. I think we all can agree to this statement or to this conclusion. The ultimate destination or the freedom or the enlightenment or the liberation is wide and clear. Also, we can say the path of liberation or the path to the liberation is also wide and clear. The path is also wide and clear, and the destination too. Then what is not wide and what is not clear? If the path is clear and wide and the enlightenment or the liberation is clear and wide, then what is unclear and what is narrow? One can simply say the mind. The mind is narrow and unclear. Or someone else can say we are narrow and we are not clear. No clarity. How do we know this, that we are clear or not clear? We are wide or narrow? What are the criteria to get to know how we are? So better to make a criteria. And it's simple. If we are unclear, then we do not know that we are unclear. This is the very first sign. Very first sign of unclarity. We do not know that we are not clear. We may think that we are clear. We may think that everything is clear. This is really fascinating. Why we are thinking in this way? We are thinking that everything is clear because we are not clear. If we are clear, then we do not have to think. We are not simply thinking that we are clear. If things are clear, then things are clear. No need to think about it. The usual thinking, the ordinary thinking happens or comes out of not out of right understanding or not out of right seeing, out of judgments. Anyway, if you are not clear, then full of judgments are there about ourselves and about others. So many judgments. We are judging ourselves and others. An interesting thing is there might be opposite judgments. Opposite judgments. In 1 minute, we think that we are good, we are nice. And in another minute, in the next minute, we may think completely opposite. We are bad, we are not right, we are not nice, or they are not right, or that idea is not right. And again, after 1 minute, we may think in a different way. So if you are not clear, that means we come to judgments, instant judgments, quickly, and we are shifting from one judgment to another judgment, jumping from one to other. That means, dear friends, if you are not clear, then we are not sure. Not sure. We are not sure about ourselves. We are not sure about others. We are not sure about what we are doing and why we are doing and what we have to do. Not sure. We are not sure. A lot of doubts are there. We are doubtful. When we are not clear, when clarity is not there, then still we make decisions, we make conclusions, we make judgments, and we act in order to those conclusions, decisions, and judgments, but we are not sure. A lot of doubts. We are doubtful. Doubtful mentality arises from unclarity mind. So when we are doubtful, then not enough energy to continue whatever we have started or whatever we started. Still we start things to do. go there, to say something, to write something, to meditate or whatever. Still we make actions, but very difficult to continue. The doubtfulness or the doubtful mind is unable to continue whatever it started or it starts. But still it is starting. No energy. We can see this goes as a chain, as a link. If we are not clear, or if the mind is not clear, then the very first thing is we don't know that we are not clear, or the mind is not clear. We think that we are clear. We think. And therefore, we make decisions, conclusions, and judgments, especially judgments. But we are not sure about it. Therefore, we are moving. We cannot stay with one idea. We cannot. Not we don't want, we want, but we are unable to stay with one idea. And we start many things to do at once. Not only one thing, many things. And no energy because we are doubtful. Whatever we start, we have doubts. When we are doubtful, then no energy to continue. Lack of self-confidence. Then many half-done jobs, incompleted or uncompleted jobs, tasks are there. The life means, or the past means, full of incompleted tasks and jobs. And instead of completing at least some of them, what we are doing is we are starting new things. And the result is same. Lack of energy, lot of doubts, not sure, lack of self-confidence. And when we look back, the life is full of half-done tasks, incompleted journeys. Not only one journey, incompleted thousands of journeys. And therefore, we feel guilty. It's a burden. We ourselves are burden for us, not the world. The world is burden too, but that's a secondary thing. We ourselves are burden to us. So we started to hate ourselves. And we want to hurt ourselves too. And this can go further, dear friends, until one is killing own self. And this happens in this earth often. And if we go back to the main root is they were not clear, no clarity at all. Therefore, the clarity is very important for everything. The clarity is very important thing. But somehow we are not paying good enough attention on this quality or on this matter, the clarity. Because we think we are clear. It's a trap. If we are clear, if the clarity is there, then dear friends, that thought never comes. We are clear. It's clear. It's very clear. No need to think that we are clear. And if clarity is there, then the clarity makes decisions. We do not have to think and think and think and overthink to make decisions. Now we know how difficult to make decisions. Why it is so difficult? Because no clarity. We have to make decisions. And if the mind is not clear, that means we have to use that unclear mind to make decisions. And it is impossible. Like we are using a muddy pond to see the right reflection. It's not possible. Not possible at all. If the pond is muddy, then we cannot get the right reflection of whatever from the muddy pond. So, but still we are thinking it is possible, and we are using the muddy pond to see the right reflection or right reflections of whatever. And it is impossible. The muddy pond is unable to reflect whatever just as it is. Therefore, a lot of thinking are happening. But everything, when everything is clear, then less thinking. Maybe actually no thinking, no need to think. The clarity knows what we have to do. If nothing to do, the clarity knows there is nothing to do. And if something is there to do, the clarity knows. Therefore, we are certain, sure, and no doubts. And when we are sure and no doubts, then full energy is there. Full of energy is there. like a rocket. And only then we start whatever to be started. And whatever we start, we are going with it and we are completing it. We do not start thousands of things at once. Then the life becomes something very simple, not like million of incompleted tasks. So light. The life becomes so light, not a burden at all. And anytime we can stop whatever we are doing. Anytime, in any time we can stop whatever we are doing without having any guilty conflict. Dear friends, we are concerned about the world too much. The world means everything else. Family and the country, the political situation, financial situation, environmental situation, the future, everything. We are concerning all those things too much. And it's a trap too. It is a trap too. We have to only concern about ourselves, about oneself. If we can take care of ourselves wisely, then that's enough. That's enough. That is the way to take care of the world. They are not two different things. Taking care of oneself is the way to take care of others. Others means everything else. But if we think they are two different things, and then naturally our attention goes to the second thing. We think first we had to take care of the world, other things, external things. We had to finish them. Lot of responsibilities are there. It's our duty. My dear friends, it's an endless job. Endless. There is no full stop to take care of others. No full stop at all. And why I have said it's a trap, because we can simply forget about ourselves. We can simply escape from ourselves. We can simply ignore ourselves by taking external responsibilities onto our shoulders. Actually, they are not two different things. The world is a reflection of our mind. The world is a reflection of our mind. There is a beautiful Zen story. A meditation class is going on. As usual, the teacher is sitting in front of pupils or all the students, and students are sitting in front of the teacher. They are looking at each other, and the teacher is guiding the meditation session, and the teacher asks everybody to close their eyes. So now the whole class is meditating, and after the meditation, then the discussion. During the discussion, the teacher asks others to share their experiences with the class. And one meditator, one pupil, who is just sitting just in front of the teacher, he said, while I am meditating, suddenly I open my eyes and I see you, the teacher, is just in front of me, and the teacher's face is so ugly, like a wild pig. Then the whole class was shocked, and teacher doesn't say anything. And teacher asked any other sharings, but no sharings. Nobody can say anything after that. Then one pupil asked, "Dear teacher, how it happened? You are so pleasant. Your face is so pleasant always, especially when you meditate. So then how colleague has seen your face so ugly as a wild pig?" Then the teacher said, "I also opened my eyes during the meditation session, and I see you, the person, that pupil, because they are sitting just in front of each other. And your face is like the Buddha, so beautiful, so calm, so clarity, so still." And then more shocked. The class is more shocked because teacher said that student's face is so beautiful like the Buddha, so calm, that student says the teacher's face is so ugly like a wild pig. So nobody can understand. And the reason is teacher's mind is like the Buddha's mind. Therefore, whatever the teacher sees, the Buddha nature, the beauty of the Buddha, it doesn't matter how that student is in that moment. It doesn't matter. And if our mind is very wild, like a wild pig, then of course, whatever we experience is so ugly, so arrogant. The world is a reflection of our mind. If the mind is not clear, then everything can be wrong. The world can be wrong. And we think the world is wrong. Actually, the world is not wrong. We are not wrong either. The problem is the mind is not clear. Therefore, this inner clarity is very important, very useful. And how we know that our mind is wider or narrow? How do we know? When the mind is narrow, then the uh, the immediate result is lot of thinking is going on. Lot of thinking, too much thinking. If the mind is wider, then less thinking. Minimize. We can minimize our thinking if the mind is wide. If we have a wider vision, then no need to think too much. And we can listening. Listening is happening only when we are wide. When we are narrow, then no listening. Listening is over. No more listening. Even though we are just sitting in front of somebody who is talking and talking, but no more listening. Listening is over. The narrow mind cannot listen. It is closed. Then what the narrow mind is doing? The narrow mind is arguing. The narrow mind wants to come to conclusions. Yes or no. Yes or no. Right or wrong. With this desire, the desire of coming to conclusions, the mind is there. That's the only thing. The mind wants to say, you are right and you are wrong. Saying right and wrong is not the way to listen. The wide mind does not come to any conclusion. It is continuously listening. And the narrow mind is missing this art of listening. It's an art of listening. There is no hurry to come to any conclusion. Even after listening, maybe half an hour or 1 hour, still the mind is open. The mind is reflecting on what it has listened. And if something is unclear, then it can ask questions after reflecting. Narrow mind also can ask questions with a different motivation, with a different intention. To challenge. The narrow mind is asking questions to challenge or to prove something. But the wide mind is asking questions for further clarification. And we can see what intention is behind. Maybe the question is same. The two people are asking same question, but different intention. Therefore, we cannot give the same answer for two people. Even though verbally the question or the questions are same, literally same, but intentionally different. Therefore, we had to answer to the intention, not to the literal question. If we are clear, only when we are clear, we can listen to others' intention. Otherwise, we only listen their words. And discussions are happening in between words. It's a game. And we cannot say Dhamma discussion or Dhamma sharing for this. It's an intellectual game. And when we are wide, we are not stick with one idea. We know this, that ideas come from our thinking, and our thinking comes from our experiences. And our experiences are coming from where we are. If we change our position, then different point of views, different experiences, different ideas, and we can change. Wide means we can walk 360 degrees around one point. Whatever, if you want to know, if you want to understand something fully, then we are capable to walk around that point, that idea, that theme, like a circle, going around, walking around. We have that ability. We are not being stick with one point, with one angle. And that is very important. Only then we have complete vision, complete knowledge. Otherwise, we are missing some parts. Some parts and some areas are not obvious. If we are only looking from here and we don't know how the other side. Therefore, the Dhamma is emphasizing this very much, to have a complete knowledge. The Pali word is pariññāya. Pariññāya. Ñāya means knowledge. Pari means complete. Complete. We have to complete the circle. Pari means complete the circle. Only after completing the circle, we can get the complete knowledge. Now, there is no secret if we walk around one thing, whatever, then no secret. That much flexibility is there if the mind is wide. But if the mind is narrow, that the narrow mind does not want to move. The narrow mind is unable to move. It is stick with its own narrow opinion or idea. And it thinks that's the perfect truth. And the Dhamma is, the Buddhism is giving us a very, very beautiful teaching about this. The Buddha, once a young religious person, is young but very scholar, very respectful, a religious teacher, came to see the Buddha. His name is Kapatika. And with a lot of senior teachers and scholars, and the Buddha and all those senior teachers are having some discussions. Whilst that discussion, this Kapatika is disturbing or interfering that discussion, and the Buddha said, you have to wait for the right time. We are having a discussion. Then one of the seniorest teachers said, dear Buddha, don't condemn that young teacher. He's well-known teacher. Even though he's young, he's respected one. His knowledge is remarkable. And he is qualified enough to discuss with you. Then the Buddha look at him, look at Kapatika, and say, and the Buddha say, if you want to ask anything, you can ask. Or you can say. And he said, the faith, conviction, and unbroken tradition. The faith and unbroken tradition are the main tools of their system or their religion to know what is the truth and what is false and mistake. Faith and unbroken tradition. And the Buddha said, not only these two, there are five. There are five tools what humans are using to come to judgments, to think what is right and what is wrong. First thing is faith or conviction. The second one is likes, what we like. The third one is unbroken tradition. The fourth one is ideology. For ideology, we can say ideology is our logical thinking. And the fifth one is our views. And Buddha said, dear Kapatika, you may believe something fully. You believe something fully. You have faith in something fully, but it can be wrong. It can be completely a mistake. And if you don't believe something, but it can be right, it can be truth. And if you like something, if you like very much something, but it is empty, it could be empty. And you may not like something, but that something can be truthful. And your unbroken tradition may say something which is empty, nothing inside, no value at all. But there are certain things which is against your unbroken tradition that can be truth and wise. Like that. So all these 5 things have 2 results. We may believe something which is meaningless. We may not believe something that could be very meaningful. We like certain things, but they can be fails. We may not like something, and that can be very meaningful. Therefore, the Buddha said, but still we can believe things. The Buddha said, still we can believe things. But if we say, I believe this, therefore, this is the right thing, and everything else is fails and mistake, then we are lying. We are lying. We are not protecting the truth. Therefore, we had to say like this, we believe this. I believe this. That's all. We cannot say, I believe this. This is the only truth. Everything else is fails. Then we are not protecting the truth. But we can protect the truth by saying just this, I believe this. That's all. I believe this, but if I believe the God, I believe the Buddha. That is truth. If I believe the Buddha, I can say I believe the Buddha. No one can argue with me. And you can say that you believe something else. And if you believe it, how can I argue with you? I cannot argue with you. But if I say I believe the Buddha, Buddha is the only person who said the truth. Everybody else said wrong things. Then I start a lot of arguments. The Buddha said, you can protect the truth just by saying what you believe without coming to any judgment about your belief and about what others believe. And you can say what you like. I like this. I like Buddhism. I like Sri Lanka. That's okay. No one can argue with me. How possible to argue with somebody who say they like something? But if I say I like Buddhism because Buddhism is the only religion which is truth, all the other religions are not true, then arguments. So that is the way how we make ourselves narrow. Still we can believe, we can like things. And the third thing, unbroken tradition. We can say this is our tradition. This is our tradition. And we are not saying this is the only right tradition. All the other traditions are wrong. No, This is our tradition. This is my tradition. That means there can be many traditions. I am not saying this is the only tradition. No, this is my tradition. This is my belief. This is my like. And this is my logical thinking. And this is my point of view. And the Buddha said, as long as we say like that, we are protecting the truth. We have rights to say that we are believing whatever we believe. We like whatever we like. Our tradition, our logical thinking, our ideology, and our views. With this openness, there can be many beliefs, there can be many traditions, there can be many ideologies, many point of views. And after saying this, that young scholar was so happy. He was so happy, Kapatika. But the Buddha said, you can protect the truth by saying this, but you cannot achieve the truth just by saying this. Achieving the truth is something else, something different than protecting the truth. Then he is so interested in knowing how to achieve in the truth, how to achieve the truth. The Buddha said, if you want to achieve the truth, then you need a friend. Or simply we can say a teacher. You need a teacher. And how to find a teacher? How to find a teacher? The Buddha said you had to do this investigation. This investigation. There are three aspects. Greediness, hatred, and delusion. If somebody claims himself or herself as a teacher, then you had to do this investigation in him or in her. Does this person has greediness, hatred, and delusion? And he or she is greedy, and he or she is trying to make others greedy by giving talks. He or she is having hatred and also trying to increase others' hatred. Do your own investigation in people who claimed themselves as teachers, as masters. By yourself, first-hand investigation. Dear friends, we need the clarity and wider mind to do this investigation. Otherwise, we are so easier to come to conclusions by listening to the public opinions, the medias. What that person is saying and what that person is doing. Are there any differences, any gap, any contradictions? And that person is greedy and also trying to make others greedy. This person is having hatred and trying to make others also angry. Do your own investigation. And after doing good enough investigation, then if you see this, that person is not having any greediness, any hatred and any delusion, is completely free, pure, and not trying to make anyone greedy or hatred. His or her intention is completely pure. Whatever that person is saying is helping and supporting to decrease others' hatred and greediness, not to increase. Then, when you see this beauty, then faith comes naturally. The faith, when things are clear, when you see this clear picture, not your brain, not your mind, when you experience this by your heart, when your heart experiences this, then the faith comes naturally. That faith is not coming from thinking, not coming from thoughts. It comes from your experience. And when that faith comes, then you go again and again to that person. You want to go again and again. There's a beautiful order. Saddha jato upasankamati. When the faith comes, conviction comes, then you again and again go and see and listen to that person. Not only see, then you are open to listen. You are listening fully. And your heart wants to keep those words. The heart wants to keep those words. You keep the message in your heart. And after listening, you keep the message in your heart. After keeping the message in your heart, you try to compare. Compare with what? Not compare with other teachers. You compare with your own life. The message and how we live. The message that comes from the teacher and how I am living. We have to do this comparison. Comparing. Usually we compare teachers. We compare books. That's an endless thing, and we are wasting our energy and time. Instead of that, once our heart opens, not emotionally, after doing wise and good enough research in the teacher in that way, and when the heart opens, then the research is over. Then we don't have to do the research anymore. We have to do the research before. And the second part is then the journey starts. Then we have to listen to that person carefully. And that message goes all the way to the depth of the heart. It's very live. The message is very live. Whatever the message, whatever words go to the brain is dead. Is dead. Still we can remember, but it's dead. No life at all. But whatever the message goes to the depth of the heart is still. It is immortal. Immoral. And then we have to compare what the teaching and how we live. We can see the gap. And when we see the distance, how we far away from the teaching, how our life far away from the teaching, when we see it, only then the interest comes to live in order to the message. And that interest and enthusiasm is very energetic, very energetic. No doubts at all. We are not starting one thing here and then another thing. No. We know there is only one journey. There are no hundred of journeys, only one journey. And once we start, we are walking. Maybe some rest, some breaks, but we are not changing the tracks. We are not changing the lines. We know this is the path. And we give priority for this, the priority. The priority means we stop everything else and only meditate. No, we know meditation is the priority. But of course, other things are there. So-called responsibilities and duties are there. But the priority is the practice. And then how the Buddhas end up this, the gradual order is, then we may experience the truth mentally and physically, even physically. Even our body is witnessing to the truth, the ultimate truth. The Pali word is Kayena Cheva Parama Satchang Satchikaranti. Kayena means even from the body, even the body. Parama Satchang, the absolute truth. Satchikaranti, even the body is witnessing to the ultimate truth. So no need to say about the mind and the heart. So, dear friends, we had to know how the mind is now. This is the starting point, how the mind is right now. Without knowing how the mind is right now, there is no journey, because everything is a reflection of the mind. Mind made everything. If the mind is uncleared, then it makes us confused. With uncleared mind, we cannot do any investigation, any research. Only we can think, only we can argue. That's all. And we had to see these 5 things: what we believe, what we believe, what we like, which tradition that we are carrying, what ideology is there. The 5th one is, what's our point of view, our doctrine. And it's okay, but we should know what we believe. We all are believing something, whatever, either science or whatever we believe. We should know what we believe. By knowing, we protect the truth. Even by saying, I am believing this, it's okay. What we like, what's the tradition that we are carrying, what's our ideology, logical thinking, and what's our doctrine. It can be right, it can be wrong. They can be right, they can be wrong. But better to know. And then we had to do that investigation. Do those beliefs and traditions and ideologies and doctrines, do they helpful us to reduce our suffering, reduce our emotions, reduce our defilements? To reduce our pain, do they helpful? We had to open for this. We had to do open investigation, not blind. So clarity and wide, they are very important. And if they are not helpful, then we have to find another way. The best thing is finding a teacher or finding a friend. How to find a friend? Again, do a research. We have to do a research. Is this person suffering? Simply we can do that investigation. Is this person suffering? Is this person having a pain? Struggling or not? One day is not enough. Maybe 1 week, maybe 1 month, maybe 3 months. It doesn't matter. It is not a wasting time. By doing this research, like going around that person, like completing the circle, if we see that person is not suffering at all, no roots to suffer. So when we see, when we experience it, then the faith comes naturally. Then our heart opens. And then the heart wants to associate that person closely. Only then listening happens. Before, no listening. Maybe some mechanical listening, but not spiritual listening. So for the spiritual listening, our heart should be there. Our open heart should be there. Only then the message goes all the way to the depth of the heart. Maybe we cannot remember what the teacher said word by word, but the message is inside of that. The message becomes part of the heart. That is the right way to say. The teaching becomes part of the heart. Without being part of the heart, nothing can be part of the life. It comes later. Part of the life comes later. The first step is the message or the teaching should be part of the heart. So the problem is we are not completing this step. Without being part of the heart, we try to keep things part of the life. It doesn't happen. It is not going like that. It is very artificial. And then we can compare what the message, what the heart wants to do, and how we do things. How the heart wants to live and how we are living now. Then we have to make effort to live with our heart, the way our heart wants to live, not the way somebody asks us to live. We always try to do this. That teacher asks us to do this, and that teacher asks us to do that. No, that is very artificial. The message should be part of the heart. Then everything is easier. Then the heart, our heart is guiding us. Then the teacher is inside of the heart, not the personal teacher. The teaching is inside of the heart. The most important thing is the teaching, not the teacher. So that is called inner teacher. When the teachings become part of the heart, then the inner teacher is here. And the inner teacher is guiding us. Then we don't need the external teacher anymore. The external teacher's role is now over. And not only mind, even the body is enjoying this journey. Because the body is experiencing so much comforts by walking on this inner path. If you are living with the heart, that is the most comfortable thing for the life and for the body. That's why that discourse says, even the body is witnessing to the ultimate truth. Even the body. Even the body says you are in the right path. Thank you very much, dear friends. Thanks.